Hello and welcome to Programming the Lazy Way, a series of short videos on issues for beginning programmers. A question I'm seeing a lot of on Facebook is what language should I pick? So I'm going to examine here some of the most popular programming languages and offer some help with making that decision. Python is a popular first choice, and it makes sense because it's relatively easy. I sometimes use it as a first language for beginners who aren't confident yet. And the easiness is a big plus. Downside is it's only good for what it's good for, especially programming for beginners, making interactive websites, good at that, writing scripts for interacting with the operating system. It tends to be slower than most other popular languages. Still, Blender's written in it, and that's pretty graphics intense. If you decide on Python, pop on over to python.org and download the latest distribution. It's a really easy install. If you're on a PC, I would recommend using PyScripter as an IDE. If not, you can use an IDE that you find on your own, but I use Emacs. It's an editor that you can use on any operating system. For text, I use the maybe misnamed How to Think Like a Computer Scientist because it's really just a very good Python tutorial. It's a website and it is absolutely free. Now, I like C++ because it's so popular with industry. It's used for games, desktop applications, operating systems, compilers. If it's heavy duty, C++ is one of your best options. It also has the advantage that if you know it, it's easy to, well, let's see what I'm doing here. It's easy to pick up Java, Python, etc. because it covers essentially what they have and a little more. The downside is what you might expect. If it covers more, you have to learn a little more. For a gentle introduction to C++ with a lot of fun and some silliness, I recommend my own text, C++ for Lazy Programmers. The good people at Microsoft are also giving away at present Visual Studio, which is a very good IDE. Make sure that when you go there that you get the Community Edition. If you are on Unix, then G++ is the way to go, and it's always free. Now, my own informal survey showed C++ the most popular main programming language for colleges in my state, but Java is also a popular option. It's easier than C++, a little less capable on speed, it's made headway in industry, and one of the most popular uses for it is Android programming. Of course, that's a huge deal. I've been happy with Core Java as an introduction. If you get that, it will take you through picking and installing the tools that you need. Csharp is used especially for GUI or graphical user interface programs on Windows, but of course it gets used for other things as well. I hear good things about C# for absolute beginners. Of course, I like the title. I know that you will need Visual Studio. See the book that you pick for more on that. Now, PHP is something I also see asked about as well. It's a language for generating web pages, and it's in WordPress and a lot of other popular packages. If your interest is in web programming, although some people swear by Python, I'd go with PHP. JavaScript, I want to say, is not a competitor for it. JavaScript is important for doing things to a web page once it's up, but PHP generates the web pages. I recommend, if you do this, that you go with Robin Nixon's book, Learning PHP, MySQL, and JavaScript, whatever edition that we get up to, because they keep changing. And I also recommend the use of XAMPP if you're on a Windows machine, because it's fairly easy to use. On my Linux server, I use Apache too. Now, you may be wondering why I didn't mention C, because it is still popular and very useful for heavy-duty applications, embedded systems, operating systems. But I recommend that beginners with an interest in C learn C++ first, because it's easier, it teaches you to be a better programming, and then you can take a week and look over a chapter and learn C, and you've got 2 new languages on your resume. I've got links to all the tools and books I've mentioned below. If you have thoughts or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching, and stay lazy.